Marcus Barnett and Mike Lowry are back in Bad Boys Ride or Die. It's time to talk about it. Let's go. What's going on, everyone? Klepcx here for wearecritix.com, and today we are here to talk about, break down, and review Bad Boys Ride or Die, the fourth installment to the Bad Boys series starring Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before I get into what did I think about this film and talk about, break it down and things like that, let's talk a little bit about the overall Bad Boys series. We're at the fourth installment, and I gotta say, for a long time, I've had a love-hate relationship with the Bad Boys series, and let me explain why. I'm a huge fan of Martin Lawrence, even huger fan of Will Smith. The fact that these two men came together in 1995 at the height of their careers to bring us something so entertaining, so fun, so funny, yet so impactful for the culture was one of the biggest things we could ever ask for in cinema, black cinema especially. But I always hated and always felt like we were robbed of this franchise and its potential, particularly because it always took so long for the sequels to come out. Now, I feel like, 30 years since the original, we should already be on like Bad Boys 6 or 7, maybe at that. I mean, his 11 Fast and the Furious is already, and that movie came out way after Bad Boys 1. I understand that most people want to, say it's quality over quantity, but nah, I think, with the right writers and, the right minds like Will and Martin, we could have had such a phenomenal series with these guys in their prime, their younger prime. And I feel like as the series got a little bit older and these guys they got older, it started to show, and it would kind of pull me out of the comedic aspect of these films because I love watching Tiny Marty Marr have such a big personality on camera, and Smooth Will. I mean, Will always brings it, but it was just a great dynamic to have these two in their younger prime, and I wish we would have got a lot more of that in their earlier years in their career. But that's neither there nor here. Now, the thing that I love the most about this is the consistency that we do get out of the Bad Boys series with the chemistry and the overall action. So, without further ado, before I get into what did I think of this film, let's talk a little bit about what this film is about. Bad Boys Ride or Die. It's hopping right off of Bad Boys 3, which the title was fucked up. Should have been called Bad Boys Ride or Die, but it was called Bad Boys for Life. They should have flip-flopped those, if you guys get what I'm saying. That one, we get introduced, spoiler alert if you haven't seen the third one, we get introduced to a family member of Will Smith, who rolls over into this narrative as well. And it works well the way that they do that. And in this one, Bad Boys Ride or Die, the boys are on the run. They're, as you've seen in the trailer, they're Captain Howard. He's being framed for some cartel business that's been lingering and going on since the earlier films. So that's a cool thing. There's a lot of weaving and tying up the past in this one. It kind of plays like the trilogy where, you go back to the beginning and you find out things that weren't really what they were. And then the boys are on the run and they seek all the help from all the people and characters that you may or may not be familiar with in order to resolve the issue. That's all I'm going to give you guys. What did I think about Bad Boys Ride or Die? I put out a post. I think that this very well may be the best sequel in the entire series. And let me explain why. They managed to bring in fresh action sequences that are just phenomenal. The directors Adil and Bilal are revolutionizing the action sequence in this with the camera work. You get your explosions, you get all that big stuff, but these guys aren't moving like their age. I'll tell you that one. I don't know. I didn't see no stunt man. I couldn't point out that you can't see if anybody is being replaced by a stunt guy or whatever. But the action sequences in this thing are absolutely phenomenal. The camera work. Will Smith just posted not even like 5 minutes ago. Posted a behind the scenes of how they did one of the sequences that you actually see in the trailer. So it's not a spoiler, but there's a scene where the gun is spinning and you see Will holding it, but then he throws it, and then the go watch that. It's on Will Smith's Instagram. He just posted that not too long ago. But by the time you guys see this, it would have been this morning. But Yeah, he posted that, and it's phenomenal. And my mind was blown even watching the behind the scenes, even though I already saw the film. I'm like, and that's why that hit so hard, because you knew that it was something different. And Belial and Belial and Adele, they managed to just knock this thing out the park with the sequences. The characters. Let's talk about the characters. They bring back a lot of familiar faces that you guys know from this franchise. Um, and let's just say everybody gets a solid arc. There is a moment in this movie that I'm going to tell you right now. Hear me out. I promise you. I'm not going to lie to you. You will cheer like you probably have never cheered for the Bad Boys franchise ever off of one particular character getting an arc. I'm telling you right now, it is the crowd erupted, and I couldn't even contain myself. I wanted to like give this a standing ovation just off of this sequence, because yo man, I can't wait to watch this movie again. I really can't. I really think that because they managed to just not bring people back for no reason. They don't just bring people back for the fan service. They don't just tell story for the fan service. There is a lot of callbacks that hit really hard emotionally, and in a great way, in a fun way. Um, and then the chemistry between Martin and Will, like these guys got it, and they know they got it, so they used everything. They didn't just put the movie on the weight of Will and Martin. They said, "You guys are gonna do what you're gonna do. Just do it, and we'll do the rest." And the rest really pays off. I had a really fun time with this film, guys, ladies and gentlemen. I'm trying to think if there's anything else outside of what I'm mentioning that I loved, but that's the gist of what makes this movie so fantastic. And to me, one, if not the best sequel in the series. I know a lot of people like two, but I was really never a fan of part two because I felt like the third act was too long and a little outlandish for me at the time. I'm still not really a fan of two just because of that. Three, I really felt like it was too long, and then it was a little force feed you with new character and new story, and you kind of accept it. You walk away, but that's on the account of Will and Martin. Like I said, they carry that movie. This one, because of the familiarity with everyone involved and the callbacks, and then Will and Martin. Listen, hear me out. I'm telling you, check it out. One thing I didn't like about the film, because there's got to be something where there's a lot of narrative going on and a lot of story that you got to follow. But there's a particular storyline within the Captain Howard arc that kind of doesn't get wrapped up for me. Like, I really wish that, because there's some things going on with Howard's character that kind of truck the storyline along. You guys will know what I mean when you watch it. There are things with Captain Howard that truck the storyline along with Martin and Will. And there's a particular character that gets introduced in this who's very close to Captain Howard, who doesn't really kind of see that resolution come tie together. And I wish that they would have allowed that character that closure outside of the what happens. I'm vague. I know I'm being very vague, but I don't want to spoil anything. But hopefully, after you see it, you'll understand what I mean. Maybe I'll do a spoilish talk with this with some colleagues of mine who've seen this, because I really had a lot of fun talking. I'm definitely going to see this again. I recommend you guys see it again. I will watch this one more than I would definitely watch part three. I will tell you that. And it's directed by the same guys, but they were only planting the seeds in part three. And part three walks so this one can sprint. I'm telling you that right now. And I'm excited to see if or when there will be another one of these, because I'm kind of in love with everybody that's involved in this movie. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Bad Boys Ride or Die. I'm kind of trying to tell you guys, you got to check it out. Again, I think it is, if not one of, but the best sequel in the series. Not better than the first one. First one is iconic. Those guys at the height of their time, their careers, coming together for the first time, unstoppable, unbeatable. But this one here for me I put it before 2, and I definitely put it before 3. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know if you are interested in seeing Bad Boys Ride or Die. How excited are you to see this film? Like, comment, share. Make sure you subscribe. And for more movie news, television news, and pop culture, check out wearecritix.com. And I will talk to you all later.